Time to get the tissues out, because we're going to go on a walk down memory lane through all the people we've lost in 2024. Some of them I don't mind. Hello and welcome to day 7 of Hardly Holidays, the sweetened and condensed version of our show for your holiday enjoyment. I'm SP.
And I'm Kellie.
Anything else? Just that?
And I'm Kellie.
What are we going to do?
I have to give some levity. Today's a sad episode.
Oh, it is a sad episode.
So I'm just trying to make it a little bit better. Last year's Lost and In Memoriam, which is what we're doing today, remembering those that we lost in 2024, it can be sad. I know that there are a few people on this list that are sad for me. And then I have to say, I don't really know who else could be on this list.
It was a weird year in death. Any year is a bad year in death. And trigger warning to anyone who this might not be your episode for. We're talking about, you know what we're talking about?
Famous people, celebrities that passed away in 2024. People that made a difference in the world in one way or another. And
who didn't pass away within the very last couple days of the year because we haven't gotten to
like yet. How Betty White did that one year, which is still a terrible loss.
Or Greg Gumbel, some sports announcer passed today. Oh. He didn't make it in, though.
Oh, sorry.
But,
but he did right now, so.
Miss you, bud. But yes, we are looking through the list of celebrities, singers, songwriters, actresses, artists, musicians, doppelgangers, chefs, studio artists. It doesn't matter. People who have had an influence in our life over the year, to give them the proper send-off in remembering those we lost in 2024. Starting with our first actor. He was a renowned actor celebrated for his iconic voice roles, including Darth Vader in Star Wars and Mufasa in The Lion King.
James Earl Jones, baby.
James Earl Jones.
Wow.
Passed away at 93 years old.
You don't have the dates, though.
Oh, when he started living?
No, like when he died this year.
Oh, you know?
That's okay. I was
no,
just curious.
I didn't put it in my notes.
I do remember him passing away, though. Oh, 93, long life.
Yeah. Passed away from complications from type 2 diabetes.
That's why it's scary.
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few people on this list who have passed away from complications with diabetes.
Don't say
that. Hear me out, though. These are people who have worked with their condition lifelong. James Earl Jones was 93.
That's true.
Like, most of us won't make it there
just naturally
with insulin or without it.
Yeah.
So not so bad. But yeah, so obviously most of us, if not all of us, know James Earl Jones, particularly his amazing voice. He was Mufasa, like we mentioned, Darth Vader. He was also a Tony-winning stage actor.
Makes
sense. You know that? He won a Tony for The Great White Hope in Fences.
No, I didn't know that, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Incredible actor, voice of our generation for sure. A couple little facts about him as we send him off. Jones initially struggled with a severe stutter in his youth.
Isn't that how it always happens?
You know what? That's why I left it in there when I was doing the research, because I was like, we can overcome, y'all. We can
overcome.
We can do that. So he had a stutter in his youth, overcame it through poetry, acting, and later became one of the most recognizable voices in history.
It's true.
Absolutely true. And then another one. This was interesting to me. He was an avid gardener and found peace in cultivating plants.
That also makes sense to me.
Described it as his way of staying grounded and connected to nature.
Good for him. We all need it.
And my favorite thing is that as I put together our list and got all the details that I could, this was my favorite part. Really good segue into this. I may have even deleted it. There was no scandals, no anything revolving James Earl Jones. Like, well done. 93 years old, and you were a standout dude.
Yeah, good for you.
Excellent. A lot of people don't know that he was funny as well. He's not just Mufasa. He's not just Darth Vader, but he had a good sense of humor, and he was on tons of late-night talk shows, as you might imagine. Here's a little clip of James Earl Jones on Letterman.
The category tonight from the Home Office, top 10 things that sound cool when spoken by James Earl Jones. The famous actor, a fine actor, a lovely man. Top 10 things that sound cool when spoken by James Earl Jones. James, nice to see you. Thank you very much.
He's in character.
Yeah, like that guy that was here earlier. Top 10 things that sound cool when spoken by James Earl Jones. Here we go, number 10.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah. Number 9.
Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear.
Number 8.
J-Lo in the house.
It goes on and on like that.
That's funny.
But sending him off. What a great guy. What a great guy.
Next on the list.
Next on the list, it's a tough one. Esteemed British actress, known for her roles, of course, in our generation as Professor McGonagall in Harry Potter.
Professor McGonagall in Downton Abbey as the Dowager Countess.
A lot of people know her from that. I didn't even know how to say that word, but you're right. At 89 years
You didn't know how
old.
to say Dowager.
No, I don't watch Downton Abbey.
It's also an Anastasia.
I don't like depressing time period pieces.
I should
It's
watch
not my
Downton
thing.
Abbey.
Either way, at 89 years old this year, we lost Maggie Smith.
Oh, so sad.
Now, this one is one I figured you'd have a little bit more to say about.
I do love Maggie Smith. You know, we have lost too many of our Harry Potter adults.
It's kind of, it's part about getting older.
From the movie. I know. It's crazy, though, to be like, wow, we really are losing them in real time. And it's crazy that she had cancer for the majority of that and still showed up every day and worked. I mean, I feel like many people had cancer on that set.
Yeah, I mean, well, Snape too, Alan Rickman.
I know.
It's weird to watch these people come and go, but they are absolutely leaving a legacy behind them.
She is
which
incredible
so
and
cool.
amazing. Yeah.
It's one of the coolest parts about being in the entertainment medium is that there's a lot of you captured forever. And as long as people are watching Harry Potter movies, they're going to be watching Maggie Smith.
I know. I can't wait till I have to tell. And I don't mean that in an exciting way. I'm just sad when I'm going to have to tell Brooklyn that, Professor McGonagall, Dumbledore,
Dead, straight to jail.
Hagrid,
Dead.
Malfoy's mother.
Dead.
There's a couple others that I can't remember.
Edward Cullen, dead.
He's not really dead.
Well, he is in the movies.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Close enough.
I think there's-
Dobby,
I was like, I think Dobby, the guy, the voice.
the voice.
actor.
It's probably Andy Serkis.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Either way, it will be a tough day. A couple of things you may not have known about our girl Maggie Smith here. She was a very personal person.
Yes.
She didn't like to do a lot of interviews. In fact, she declined a lot of big Hollywood roles because she was in England and she wanted to just be not just, but preferred working on stage doing theater than she did doing big Hollywood productions.
That's crazy.
So it's probably why we didn't really get to see much of her until until Harry Potter. Couple interesting things though. She was married to a playwright, Beverly Cross, who wrote several works specifically for her. That for me, that is like the artist's romance,
right there.
you know? Yeah, like
I wrote this for you because I know that you could kill this role.
Oh, I love it. And this was something that I did not know. Is the last thing on my notes here that I want to mention is that she was roommates with Dame Judi Dench.
Yeah, I did know that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Early on in their careers, and they maintained a close friendship throughout their life. One of the things I liked about Maggie Smith, and even though she would have told you that this wasn't something she loved because she thought she got pigeonholed and typecast to be kind of the stern character. But what I loved about her, particularly in Harry Potter, was she, to me, gave off a confidence that I always wanted an adult to have.
Yeah. She was like the confident mom who was going to take care of you and knew what she was doing.
Totally.
Same way with Mrs. Weasley.
Yes, exactly.
They're both on screen right now.
That's so funny. And both of those are great examples of like, it's not the character where you're like, everything's great about them and they're so warm and cuddly, but it was like, there was a confidence, there was a peace that came with them.
And you knew that was love.
Yeah. There was courage in that love. Mm-hmm. And I pulled a little clip here for you to listen to and see that talks and shows a little bit about that spirit of Maggie Smith.
Let me get this straight, Professor. You're actually giving us permission to do this?
That is correct, Longbottom.
To blow it up? Boom!
Boom!
Wicked. But how on earth are we going to do that?
Why don't you confer with Mr. Finnegan? As I recall, he has a particular proclivity for pyrotechnics.
I can bring it down.
That's the spirit. Now, where you go?
You do realise, of course, we can't keep up you-know-who indefinitely.
That doesn't mean we can't delay him. And his name is Voldemort. So
right.
yes, you might as well use it. He's going to try to kill you either way.
Oh,
so good.
I love it. That's that confidence I was talking about. Mm-hmm. You know, let's have courage. Say his name. Like this is the moment. And it wasn't, this is the moment I'm running away. Yeah. And I don't know if that's how she approached life, but that was the type of person I knew could exist because she portrayed it on screen.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big gift. So that was our girl, Maggie Smith, passing away at 89 years old. On the much younger end of the spectrum, this was a surprise and kind of a sad one. He was one of the singers and former members of the boy band One Direction. Liam Payne passed away this year.
That's a weird one, yeah.
At 31 years
31
old.
years old.
I don't know how much we want to get into the details of it, especially because some of the details aren't totally known.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure more information will come out about this death next year, but there's lots of rumors going around it. I don't really know. All I can say is it was a sad loss. I know there are a lot of One Direction fans and a lot of Liam Payne fans, and I know that he has a small son, so a big loss either way.
Yeah, you probably know that the cause of death was falling from his hotel balcony. The details of how we got to that situation are still being uncovered, but either way, many people think that it was suicide, and if that is something that you're thinking about, worrying about, struggling with, considering, just remember it is always a temporary or permanent solution to a temporary problem. Reach out to somebody, anybody. The world's always better with you in it, because when you're gone, it's not just you who you leave, but it's your young son, your girlfriend or wife, your family. And oftentimes, as selfish as this can sound, making that choice to bring your life to an end is the solution for you, but it has huge ramifications for everyone who loved you and wish that they could have been a part of the rest of your life. So if that's you, reach out to somebody, get a therapist, is my actual suggestion. But Liam passed away at 31 years old. A couple things I didn't know about Liam. He auditioned for the X Factor at 14 and was turned away by Simon Cowell, who said, come back in 2 years. And he did. And when he came back at 16...
he was put into the boy band One Direction.
Changing his life absolutely forever. What I didn't know, too, was he nearly pursued a career as an Olympic athlete in track and field.
That's crazy.
Before going into music full time.
Well, glad you chose music, kind of.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing because it's like, wow, how cool. But then it's fraught with the, wow, how talented. And you can have everything you think you want in life and still just be tortured by your demons. He was a big advocate for mental health awareness, openly discussing his struggles in depression and with depression and addiction, which earned him a lot of respect. But I also didn't know this. He wasn't just in One Direction. He was the co-writer of many of One Direction's songs.
He was very talented, yeah.
Very talented, including Story of My Life.
Story of my life, I take her
Liam was 31 years old. Next up, I bet you'll know the name, but I don't know if you know who she is. Shelley Duvall passed away this year. Do you recognize her from the photo?
From The Shining. That is The Shining.
Yep. Actress known for her roles in The Shining and Popeye. Shelley.
Live action Popeye?
Yes. Well, here's what's interesting. Shelley Duvall was in The Shining with Jack Nicholson. Incredible. Mm-hmm. Then in the live action Popeye, where she was, what's her name? Olive Oil, starring alongside Robin Williams.
Crazy. Did she not do anything else after that?
She sure did. She also created and hosted the Emmy-winning children's series Fairy Tale Theater from 1982 to 1987, which adapted classic fairy tales with an all-star cast. So not only was she like a huge movie star and worked with some of the greatest actors of our generation, she also was a creator and a lover of educating and giving content to the younger generation, to kids. So I wanted to make sure that we gave her a shout out here as well. A couple things that was interesting about her as well. Shelley was discovered by director Robert Altman at a party and went on to star in several of his films. Nashville, Three Women, even got acclaim later at the Cannes Film Festival for winning the Best Actress Award. You don't hear a lot of those like discovered at a coffee shop, discovered at a party stories anymore. And I think this was the 70s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When that stuff still kind of happened. I mentioned it earlier. She also had a passion for producing and took creative control of fairy tale theater, securing big name actors like Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams to be a part of it. Anyone who is putting positivity in the lives of kids is A-okay with me. She also struggled with mental health issues, which became a big part of what she was advocating for as well. But I wanted to make sure to give her a shout out. Shelley Duvall passed away this year, star of The Shining, at 75 years old.
Dang.
Next up, he was a fitness guru. You knew him. You might have loved him, but he was in your house, your grandparents' house. Richard Simmons passed away this year at 76 years old. Did you grow up, like, was Richard Simmons somehow somewhere in your orbit growing up?
No, I'm aware of who he is, but, like, no.
Really? Okay, well, if you're like Kelly and you're like, I don't even know who that is.
I know who he is.
Fitness guru, big white man afro, short little pants.
He did all those like kicks and those moves.
All the kicks, all the moves. He revolutionized, if not maybe even created a big part of the health and wellness, at home health and wellness, approachable, accessible to everybody movement in the 70s. It was called Sweatin' to the Oldies. I didn't know that, but I'm looking at his photo. I was like, that tracks. Sweating to the Oldies. Not only did he do all those things I was talking about a second ago, but he did frequent television appearances like on The Tonight Show, David Letterman, even General Hospital, which I don't know what he did in General Hospital.
I remember seeing him in General Hospital.
But he was a huge advocate for health, weight loss. He inspired millions of people with his, not just accessibility, but his exuberance, his joy. He started his first studio in Beverly Hills in the 1970s. It was called Slimmins with Richard Simmons. It didn't say
Slimmins with
Richard
Simmons.
Slimmins. I loved it. This was another one of those entertainers, or I guess public figures, that had a tremendously personal life. So there's not too much
on Richard Simmons.
When he's off camera. But one of the things that I wanted to mention, not only did so many people love this person and he had such a wonderful impact on many, but he wasn't just an exercise guru. Oh, no. He was funny as well.
Yeah,
In fact, he even made appearances on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Let's check out this little clip of Richard
Let's continue
Simmons.
the show with a game called, I love this game, Living Scenery. This is for Ryan, Colin, and Wayne. And Richard Simmons, everybody. Richard Simmons.
Good guy. Listen to
Thanks for making me come back.
Sure. Richard Simmons. Living Scenery.
This is my favorite game. How about you all?
It's a great clip. Look up Richard Simmons on Whose Line Is It Anyway? I would play it, but the rest of the clip is just he's not using words. He's being put in different positions.
Yeah.
The clip gets so good.
We should watch it later.
Definitely check that out. So that was a little clip of Richard Simmons, who left us at 76 years old. You recognize this next gentleman up here?
This person is a big part of my childhood.
This
is actually the song I sing quite often that you're like, that was it. And I was like, yeah, it was right after 9/11. It was a big deal. But this is country music superstar, known for his hits like Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, which I just said. Toby Keith died at 63 of pancreatic cancer. Is that right?
Complications from stomach cancer, which he was at least went public with a diagnosis back in 2022. So
yeah,
it was a short little run there.
He was a big part of bringing country music to the new generation during when I was younger.
Yeah,
he was a big part of that.
Yeah.
Toby Keith, Garth Brooks, Tim McGraw, all of them. It's like a big deal. I think I've seen him.
Well, a lot of people have heard his work. He had hits such as Should Have Been a Cowboy.
Should have been a cowboy.
As you mentioned, Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
Yeah.
Which is called
Put a boot in your
The Angry
the
American
way. And Uncle Sam put your name at the top of his list. And the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist. That was right after 9/11 came out. That was like the
anthem.
The anthem that a lot of
was not the anthem in my non-country music house, but
it was good timing for after the terrorist attack. So
he was a big proponent for the troops. Did lots of USO tours and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have known this about Toby Keith, but he used to be a former oil worker and semi-pro football player. Did you really?
Isn't that funny?
You know a lot about Toby Keith.
This was like my prime listening. I mean, I was younger, but Tim McGraw, Toby Keith, George Strait, Shania Twain, Reba McEntire, who's a little bit older than that, but like all of that. What's her name? There's one more girl. There's no, but it's like that whole generation.
Chicks?
Well, the Dixie Chicks are part of that too.
Chicks. Which he had a
Martina
feud
McBride.
With. Martina McBride. Okay.
Like that whole kind of generation is what I kind of grew up on. So.
Well, I didn't grow up on
country music. I know we don't listen to it really anymore.
We don't really listen to it, but obviously had a big impact right around that 9/11 time as well. He would drive around and give out his demo tapes to radio stations. It was like really just that old.
It's crazy.
Hoofing it kind of thing.
He made it happen.
So died way too young at the age of 63. But known for his his political activism through his music, and his support of America and the troops. To send him off, here is a little clip of Toby Keith. No, sorry. That's Chapel Roan. I'm so sorry. We should probably move on.
It's so mean. He died.
It wasn't about him. It was really about country music.
I know. Keep going.
But so
Rest in peace
far,
to Toby.
so long, farewell, all of that, Toby Keith. 63 years old. A couple more on our list. This one is a little bit more near and dear to me. At the age of 76, Carl Weathers passed away, known for his roles as Apollo Creed in Rocky and also for his involvement in The Mandalorian, left us this year from, I always struggle with this word, atherosclerosis. There's a lot of letters in there that I struggle with. That's what he passed away from. Like I mentioned, he was Apollo Creed in the Rocky films, one of the most iconic villains and characters in cinematic history. In fact, he didn't want to. What'd you say?
There's my foot in your thing.
There it is. He didn't even want to. I don't think he wanted to audition for Apollo Creed either.
But did he get it? What did he do in The Mandalorian?
Well, in The Mandalorian, he was, Grief Karga was his name on The Mandalorian. But not only did he star in a few episodes or star in the show, he also directed a few of the episodes of The Mandalorian, which was pretty cool. And like I mentioned earlier, initially reluctant to audition for Rocky, but became one of the most beloved franchise characters in cinematic history. Some other things worth mentioning.
Oh, he started the Rocky versus Creed or something versus Creed. Creed 1, Creed 2.
Creed.
Oh, Creed. Yeah.
This is Adonis Creed. So
this
Michael
is
B.
dad.
Jordan.
This
Yeah.
is his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Was he in any of those movies?
I don't know because I've never seen him.
Me either.
No, I think he maybe died in the original Rocky movies or something like that. I can't remember. I've never seen the Rocky movies.
Me either. Okay.
Cool. A couple other things. Before acting, we mentioned this earlier about another person who had passed. Carl Weathers had a career as a professional football player.
Makes
playing
sense.
for the
Looking at him.
Oakland Raiders and the BC Lions in the Canadian Football League.
Looks right.
Totally. He was one of the first people to transition from being a successful pro athlete into being an actor.
You paved the way.
I mean, people have certainly been doing it, but this was a large amount of success. Speaking of
Paved
being,
the way for all those WWE stars.
no doubt. One of the things I wanted to mention, though, is he was deeply involved in philanthropy as well.
That's
another word I struggle with.
Philanthropy.
Especially initiatives that focused on youth education and
love that.
sports programs. Like I said,
Thank
it's
you.
always going to be, you're going to be a winner
Weathers.
in my book if you are putting good things into the lives of children. Yeah. Carl Weathers was like that too. Like I said, one of the first people to turn from pro athlete into comedian, even so much as to host SNL. Here's a little clip of his opening monologue from hosting SNL. Carl Weathers passed away at 73 years old. Next up, a couple more left before we wrap up our episode. Country music legend and actor, oddly enough, not really well known by my country music listening wife.
No.
Chris Christopherson passed at 88 years old from complications from dementia, which is a terrible disease for anyone. I wouldn't say even more so, but particularly for creatives who creating things is what they do, to lose those memories of who you are, what you've created, the impacts you've had. Particularly tricky, not necessarily bigger, better,
Here's what
worse.
I'll say. If you're having hearing problems, take care of that now because it leads to dementia and Alzheimer's.
It's true.
So,
Let me name a few of his hit
hearing
songs.
aids.
You can tell me if you know what they are. He had hits like Me and Bobby McGee,
That sounds familiar.
Sunday Morning Coming Down, and Help Me Make It Through the Night.
All of those sound very familiar.
Well, if you
I
haven't...
see now in films such as A Star Is Born, that must be the OG Star Is Born.
Yes, so that's what I was going to talk to you about. If you don't know him from those songs, you might know him from Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid in 1973, Blade in 1998 with Wesley Snipes, or as you said, I believe it's the original, but I'm not sure.
think
It
there's
might
like
be the
3.
second one.
Yeah, so
yes.
yeah.
But before Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga did A Star Is Born, Chris Christopherson and I believe...
How Jim Carrey of you?
Barbra Streisand.
Oh,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
yeah.
it's Barbra Streisand. I got there. Starred in that movie, so pretty cool. He was also the one of the members of the supergroup The Highwaymen alongside Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, and Waylon Jennings. I mean,
that's cool.
Pretty incredible. He was also
Chris Christopherson.
I know, we didn't hardly even knew him. He was also a Rhodes Scholar who studied literature at Oxford University before his music career. Famously landed his big break when he flew a helicopter to Johnny Cash's property and personally delivered a demo tape. We got to get back to that kind of stuff.
That's crazy.
You know,
you get
we got to
shot
get
down
back
now.
to yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't advise that. But yes, the biggest thing of note here is not just the music career,
It's
but
the Rhodes Scholarship in Oxford.
Sure, but he also won a Golden Globe for his performance in A Star Is Born. I mean, this is a man for all seasons here.
Yeah.
So Chris
Snowy
Christopherson.
he got, but
yeah, as far as I know, Chris Christopherson leaving us this year at 88 years old. Now,
Good
this
long life.
next one is someone that you knew personally, and I'll just go ahead and say
Mocha?
this a little bit right at the top. So that this person had a reputation of being difficult to work with, which led her to an early exit from a few TV shows. But regardless, at 53, way too young.
she had cancer.
Shannon Doherty left us this year. Best known for Beverly Hills 90210, as well as Charmed. Yes, she passed away at 53 from breast cancer, which she had been battling for many years. She's known for her role as Brenda Walsh on Beverly Hills 90210, made her a household name in the 90s, and that's where you met her. Not in the 90s, but on 90210.
That is true. I did get to meet Shannon Doherty. I wish it was a better experience because I was a huge fan. I was a big Charmed girl. I watched a lot of Charmed growing up and really, really loved her and was so excited at 15 or 16, however old I was, to be on the same set and to get to meet her. And boy, was it just not the best experience.
That is the
Which is a bummer.
consensus, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, not everyone is extroverted and warm.
And that's
Sometimes
okay.
it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But goodbye, Shannon. You left us too soon. Rather than show you a clip of Shannon, I decided to bring in a clip of Kellie from the episode of 90210. Look for that girl in the back singing her song, Mama Who Bore Me.
This is you don't get to watch it.
That was my big moment.
I wonder why it's doing that.
I don't know.
You'll have to put it in later.
She's been lying to you about sex, and it pisses you off. Now, you're all teenagers, so I know you hate your mothers. I hated mine. Use the anger. I will show you how it's done.
Grandma, maybe
Annie, I'm not your grandmother here. I'm the director. Everyone! Mama who bore me, Mama who gave me, Mama the angels.
Pretend like you saw yourself singing, and it was a great moment.
Mama who bore me, Mama who gave me no way to handle things, who made me so sad. Mama the weeping, Mama the angels, no sleep in heaven or Bethlehem. It's too low.
That is pretty low. Anyway, that's the same clip I'm going to play at your funeral, so be ready
Some
for that.
pray that one day.
All right. Couple more.
Calling.
Oh my gosh.
Aren't you
should
impressed
be.
that I kind of remember the harmony?
it
Those are the right harmonies.
I'm
I think
kind of impressed.
I think the note is higher, but that is like, those are the harmony lines. Anyways.
Couple more before we wrap up 2024. Documentary filmmaker, best known for his critically acclaimed film, Super Size Me.
Yeah.
Passed away at 53 as well.
Do you think it was
way
because of Super Size Me?
That is what some people believe, complications, but I
It was a
can't-
long time ago.
Yeah, and I can't live my life thinking that 30 days of McDonald's will kill you, like make you sick and be a bad choice and have
It
long-term
did
effects.
make him gain a lot of weight. That's what I remember from that.
It does.
It made me want to just get McDonald's.
Honestly,
which
me
is
too.
absolutely terrible.
Me
but
too.
I was like,
Yeah, he did pass away from a heart attack, which
fits.
yeah, I was thinking maybe. But I didn't know he had his own show on CNN after Super Size Me. In fact, he had such a huge cultural impact that if you weren't around in the 90s and 2000s, kids, McDonald's used to have a size bigger than large called Super Size. And their whole campaign was Super Size Me. And
He came out with this documentary called Super Size Me, and it showed that if you eat McDonald's enough, you will gain a ton of weight.
It said if you eat McDonald's 3 times a day for 30 days, it will be bad for you, which he kind of set out on a mission that maybe we knew the answer to.
But we watched it happen.
We did watch it happen. There wasn't anything else like that.
No.
And for him to have such an impact, by the way, totally passed on by all the studios. It wasn't until it made it big at Sundance that anyone started paying attention to this. But to have an impact where you made one of the biggest companies, at least fast food companies in the world, change their verbiage and brand and menu, it's a pretty big impact. So Morgan Spurlock, I don't think we've actually said his name out loud. Morgan Spurlock left us this year at too young of an age, 53.
Dang.
Now, here's someone who hung out arguably too long. At 77, O.J. Simpson left us this year.
Thank goodness.
I don't know. I mean, here's the deal. When you think O.J. Simpson, you think a man who got away with murdering his wife.
Yeah, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. But, like, come on.
Yeah, and we're not spend too much time here, but that was kind of the biggest piece of his life, at least in our lifetime, and I think it followed him for the rest of his lifetime till he passed at 77 from heart failure. But before that, believe it or not, he was a very, very successful professional football player. He was the first player to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season, all the way back in 1973. He was even considered for the role of Terminator. But James Cameron thought the Terminator needed to be less likable. He thought he was too likable when you looked at him. So Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Obviously makes sense. Yeah. Although Arnold Schwarzenegger is more likable.
Yeah, now he is.
O.J. Simpson,
Arnold slept with his maid. He didn't kill his wife. He did kill his relationship by sleeping with his maid.
He's also the governor of California.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I didn't remember, and I quickly did, was that he also went back to jail. In 2007, he was convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping related to a confrontation over sports memorabilia in Las Vegas, and was only recently released in 2017.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. Good thing he then wrote a book called If I Did It, saying how he would have murdered his wife. I mean,
it's how he did it. If you read the book, it tells you how he did it.
Probably. Look. He was a big icon. He's gone.
He's the last one.
Well,
that's who we ended on.
It's not who we're ending on. It's not really fair to put people on this list that you thought may not make it, who you think shouldn't make it. But there is one person I put on this list.
Did the Queen die this year? No, last year.
2022.
2022. Dang, yeah.
R.I.P. Queen.
Yeah,
but
same year's toast.
Sometimes because we filmed this before the end of the year, you just have to put things on there that you're not sure. So this is, I apologize, a bit of a hopeful one. There's one more person that I'm hoping. It's not really a person as much as I'm just hoping that this Kelsey Boy spokesperson career dies in 2024. I'm overseeing this bearded Kelsey Boy selling me soup, tires, Wild Wings, chapstick, printer ink, car insurance, everything. He's freaking everywhere. Here's my notes on this guy. He's freaking everywhere. Enough already. Jeez. I think that says Jesse. But you know what I mean.
Listen, he's just following in the footsteps of another great person who did the same thing.
Me?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, but Shaquille O'Neal is Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah,
I didn't even know this person existed until Taylor Swift started dating his brother.
Yeah, I know. But you know what?
This person is no one.
Good for him.
This person is no...
But good for him.
Yes.
He took his career. He retired from the NFL because it was going to hurt him.
Baby.
He's married and has kids. He needs to be around for his kids.
Well, so do all the other football players. Look,
and they
as an entertainer,
they could do this, but they aren't. He's being smart. He's being great. You might be tired of him, and that's
100%.
totally fine. He's making his money now. He has his podcast. He's getting his flowers. Good for him. I like Jason Kelsey.
You know, that's his name, Jason?
Jason.
I think everything stays right. From one entertainer to another, make your money. Reap all the sunshines, whatever it is. But enough is enough. I don't need to see him in every commercial and every establishment I walk into.
Keep Jason coming.
Gross. That's it.
I do like Jason and Travis Kelsey. I think they're great.
I bet you do, you little Swiftie.
That's right.
Those are not all who left us in 2024, but it is a big segment of that. And if you finished crying, no tears this year. I thought you might cry for Maggie.
She was too early on.
She was.
You saved her. I mean, you put O.J. Simpson last.
Yeah.
He should have been like first on this list because, like, who cares?
It's like, glad to see you go.
Yeah.
Either way, that's the end of the list for now. That's also the end of day 7 of Hardly Holidays. We've got more coming at you tomorrow, so don't go too far. We'll be in your eyeballs and ear holes for day 8 of Hardly Holidays tomorrow. But until then, enjoy your night, enjoy your time, and we hope you spend most of it
hardly working.
Bye.